Hey everyone, it's Libby from Maighstir Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people, it's W-O-R-I-M-I, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies for the senses. Entertainment only. And yes, red nose, red eyes, all the rest of it. It's Friday for me. I'm going to pop these videos out. Lousy night's sleep last night. I'm going to put these videos out because there's some certain things that I really want to have a look at, and then I'm going to take a leaf out of my cat Sneaks's book, Sneaks, and find a spot in the sun to just have a bit of a snooze. Okay, yeah, first time in this position with this new computer. Boy, oh boy, doesn't it? You can almost see the dust on the surfaces, I imagine. Okay, what I want to have a look at in this particular reading. Okay, first of all, back up a bit. Woke up this morning and heard that the bill passed, the bastard budget bill. No surprises whatsoever there. But what I heard as soon as I opened my phone and saw that news article, I heard that it was the death knell. Death knell was the word I heard for the GOP. Not for you guys, for the GOP. I gather it passed 218 to 214. One can only speculate at what threats and briberies went on in those secret meetings and phone calls, etc., especially considering there was a number of GOP that said the bill was absolutely horrible and the worst thing they'd ever seen, and they still voted for it. So what I just want to put out there for you guys is that a lot of what is in the bill, the majority of the really ghastly stuff, does not take effect until, I gather, fall or autumn, autumn in our terms, next year. So you're looking at 12 to 18 months. You guys need to know that, but you also need to, if you're reliant on any government assistance of any sort, please look at the bill and see if there is anything that affects you sooner. Because I really get the feeling that this government's going to be gone. This government is going to be gone, and what is in the bill is not going to stand. Why do I? But in the same vein, don't tell the Republican voters that, because what will happen is they'll see that the bill passed. They'll see certain elements get reported on news about what was in the bill, and they'll hit the panic button. So you guys be aware, but don't be alarmed. But we do want the Republican voters, the MAGA voters, to have their wake up moment, because the sooner the majority wake up, and this is non-voters as well, the sooner they wake up, the sooner we get out of this mess. Okay. The felon's also come out and repeated again. He said this several weeks ago, and I commented on it several weeks ago, probably in a reading about Fleon. If you're wondering who Fleon is, he's the Starlink SpaceX Tesla dude who is the biggest parasite on the back of the United States. The orange twerp has come out and reiterated the fact that he can take the contracts away from Fleon, threatening to take the contracts away and sick Doge onto him. Okay, bet that goes down like a lead balloon. But also has again threatened that in regards to arresting and deporting, many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here too. So threatening to arrest US citizens and deport them where? They're US citizens. It's not like you can send them home. So he's reiterated that threat again. Just be aware of it. I'm just going to put down, actually I might have a quick reading on this first up. I'll still use this deck. I'm using the Runic Tarot. It's a fairly dark deck. I'm just going to comment on something, a vision I had last night. I can't even remember what I was listening to when I saw the vision. It might have been Rosie's. If you haven't checked out Rosie's Insights, head over there and check her out. I was listening to her last night while lying on the couch half asleep, and I had the clearest vision of Fleon's ending. I do get that he'll flee to somewhere like Argentina. I don't know that Argentina has an extradition agreement with the US, but I get that flee to Argentina. And the vision I was given was him. If you think of those cop TV shows or something, it was the close up of a face of him face down, mushed on the carpet with his eyes open, his mouth sagging, and deceased in a pile of his own, you know what. So I'm just putting it out there to bookmark that. Because a lot of what I see and what I say doesn't come to fruition for sort of months or sometimes even years. So I'm just going to put that out there so that it's bookmarked. Okay, I'm going to have a look at the ice bounty hunters because let's call them what they are, bounty hunters, paid for the arrests, not the convictions. Now, what's happening is it's reminiscent of back in the day when I was working for the man in my 20s. I worked for a call centre. I took great pride in my work. It was an incoming call centre for people that had particular issues with the company I worked for, and I resolved the issues. Now, the call centre changed to a performance algorithm, and what was happening is they were giving bonuses to people that took the most amount of calls. It wasn't to do with the quality of calls, it was about the most amount of calls. Now, I sat next to a lady who basically she'd take double the amount of calls that I did. Now, I would make sure that when I got off a call, the problem was resolved. The lady I sat next to, who was getting all sorts of financial rewards, but her calls were absolute shit. I'm just going to put it out there. Her calls were like, she'd tell people, oh no, you can only raise one issue per call. Instead of transferring them through to other departments, she'd give them the phone number and tell them that they had to ring directly. Just basically, her calls were resulting in people having to ring back. But she was getting the financial reward for it. And I think that's what's happening with the ICE bounty hunters at the moment. So I'll just nip this on to the beginning of this reading because there's a lot that I want to get through. Oh, and I'm going to call them not even alligator or anything. They are the Trump Miller concentration camps. Call them what they are. Not even internment camps, concentration camps. Okay, let's have a look. Show me about these ICE bounty hunters, because that's exactly what they are. The pay for arrests. How's it going to play out for them? How's it going to play out for them? What's their future? I think if you remove the mask, you might find that it's, Frank from down at the Walmart type thing. Let's have a look. Come on down. It's my cheat sheet right there. The Six of Pentacles. Okay, how's it going to play out for them? Well, they might find themselves ostracized from their community as they are tossed out and ranks are closed behind them. How's it going to play out for them? Because the people are not going to put up with this. The Star of Hope and Healing, the beating back of the evil, protecting the legacy, protecting the people going forward. Yeah, I'm just going to say it as it is. It's not going to end well for them. At the foundation, we've got the Magician, the cowardness of what they're doing. There's a chicken sitting on his shoulder here. I'm sure it has a meaning in Norse mythology, but I'm just getting that this is the cowardness. Now, he's pointing a finger towards this rune, and this rune is red, the color of blood. He's pointing a finger to it, and that particular rune is about the self, friends, enemies, and social order. So what they're doing is their future, they're bringing it upon themselves through their cowardness. And he's pointing straight at the friends, the enemies, the social order, and self. Okay, in the past, we've got the Eight of Wands, a plan, a lot of plans. I'm drawn to the fact that he's got a book in front of him at the moment. The book is open, so to me this is telling me about a list of names, and the rune that's on this book, doubled, mirroring itself, is about endurance, survival, constraint, etc. So in the past, the book of names and the book of names are about people that are just simply trying to survive. Okay, crowning this reading, nightmare situation. How's it going to go for these bounty hunters? Finding themselves stabbed in the back. Anyone who does not think that this regime will use and then discard them like a dirty tissue or Kleenex or whatever you like to call it, needs to have their brain checked, because stabbed in the back in a nightmare situation, they're going to be left in this nightmare situation. The immediate future, the Two of Cups, working together with others, but this is not a bad card. This is about a coming together across the aisle to work together. It's actually quite a beautiful card. So the immediate future. Okay, how's it going to play out for them? You've got the externally, those that are making money. Now, trust me, the Trump Miller concentration camp in Florida did not cost, I heard a figure of $450 million to erect. No. You can probably take the 4 off the start of that and put it in certain people's pockets. So here we've got those that are feathering their nest through their situation, and internally, they're going to have to decide, these bounty hunters, what is actually really important to them. So this reaching across the aisle, this might be the kink in the armour here, because it doesn't feel like it's, working with anybody to catch people. It feels like almost like an awakening of a realization about what is precious. And here we've got them setting fire to what is precious. You've got the Queen of Swords, the potential legal action being brought forward, with her saying, come on, come this way. Might be a class action that's brought out here by these bounty hunters against when they have this realization moment, when they're abandoned. Okay, the outcome for them, the Seven of Pentacles, reaping what you sow. There's a target on your back. You did this to yourself. We've got here the Four of Wands. It is about families, trapped by the messaging of families. And then you've got the Seven of Swords, which is about the sneaking in and stealing. So this is families trying to protect themselves. And then we've got the Ace of Wands. So I'm getting a big the Ace of Wands. We've got the Emperor. Where's this going? The sending overseas of the Lovers. Right. Betrayal, abuse. That will plant the seeds, bring this to an end and plant the seeds for a next beginning, and then things being stopped. Okay, because of family. Right, what I'm getting there, ringing in my ears, ringing in my right here, I'm getting with these bounty hunters that is, I don't even, There's a number of them that are going to get, I won't say them get caught up. Okay, I'm getting a vision of one of these bounty hunters being sent on a job and he turns up and it's his own home. You know how when you hear about, firefighters that are called out and they find out that it's someone they know or their own home or something like that? It's got that feel. Is something, tell me, am I on the right path? Am I on the right path with this? Wheel of Fortune, yes. That one's poking out. The Sun card, yes. 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 And then we've got this planting the seeds to the new beginning and then the new beginning. Yeah, there's going to be some instances enough where they get called out. So we've got the Wheel of Fortune, the Sun card, the Hermit, the Judgment card, then we've got the Ten of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. There are going to be enough instances where the ice bounty hunters will be called out onto their own people. We've got the delusion and finding themselves out in the cold and betrayed with the Five of Pentacles. Seven of Cups, the poor choices, the low vibration integrity, the smoke and mirrors delusion. It was always supposed to happen to others. And they're going to find out the emotional loss and disappointment. That is, it is their own. Okay, I might leave that there. That's long enough for this particular reading. Let it begin. Okay, catch you shortly.